Welcome back again to Day 4, Bitcoin Nairobi, Bitcoin Circular Economies Curriculum. So it's week 2. We'll be discussing on Bitcoin only. And last week we talked about Bitcoin. I gave an introduction of Satoshi Nakamoto. Now let us get into it. Bitcoin deep dive. What is Bitcoin? So Bitcoin is a decentralized digital currency that allows people to send and receive value over the internet without relying on banks, governments, or intermediaries. It was invented in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto and runs on a technology called blockchain, which is a public ledger that records all transactions transparently and securely. Unlike traditional money, Bitcoin is borderless, which means it can be sent anywhere in the world instantly. It is also scarce, which means it only has 21 million coins that will ever be in existence. It's also decentralized. No single person, company, or government controls it. It's also peer-to-peer transactions go directly between users. When did it start? So Bitcoin started in 2009 after its mysterious creator Satoshi Nakamoto released the Bitcoin software and mined the very first block of the blockchain called the Genesis block on January 3rd, 2009. That block contained a hidden message. The Times, 3rd January 2009. Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. That was the message that was encoded on the Genesis block. This showed that Bitcoin was created as a response to the failures of the traditional banking system and the 2008 financial crisis. Who invented it? Bitcoin was invented by a mysterious person or group of people using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. In October 2008, Satoshi published the Bitcoin white paper with the title Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. In January 2009, Satoshi released the software and mined the first Bitcoin block. Nobody knows who Satoshi is. They disappeared from the internet in 2010, leaving the project to the community. So we say Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, but their true identity remains unknown. So topic 2, blockchain, or what we call the time chain. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a digital ledger system that records transactions in a secure, transparent, and decentralized way. Instead of being stored on a single server like banks or companies, the data is shared across a network of computers, which we call them nodes. Each transaction is grouped into a block, and these blocks are linked together in order, forming a chain of blocks, hence the name blockchain. What are the key features of the blockchain? Number 1, it's decentralized. No single authority controls it. Everyone in the network shares the same copy of the ledger. Number 2, it's transparent. Anyone can view transactions on a public blockchain. It's secure. Once a block is added, it's nearly impossible to change because it's protected by cryptography. It's immutable, meaning records cannot easily be altered, which builds trust. A blockchain is like a digital notebook that everyone can see, no one can erase, and everyone agrees on. Why is it trusted? So blockchain is trusted because of the way it was designed. Instead of asking people to trust a central authority like a bank or government, it relies on math, cryptography, and consensus. Here is why people trust it. Number 1, decentralization. No single party controls the system. Transactions are verified by many independent computers, which we call them nodes. And number 2, transparency. Everyone on the network can see the same record of transaction. Nothing is hidden. Number 3, we have immutability. Once the data is added to the blockchain, it cannot be easily changed or erased. This prevents fraud. Number 4, we have the security through cryptography. Every transaction is protected by encryption, and linked to the previous one. If anyone tries to tamper if anyone tries to tamper, it breaks the chain. Number 5, there is the consensus mechanism. Participants must agree through system like proof of work before a transaction is accepted. This makes cheating nearly impossible. So blockchain is trusted because it replaces trust in people with trust in code, math, and open verification. How are transactions recorded? On a blockchain like Bitcoin, transactions are recorded step by step like this. Number 1, the transaction is created. A user sends Bitcoin from their wallet to another person's wallet. This creates a digital message with details like the sender, receiver, and amount. Number 2, there is the broadcast to the network. The transaction is shared with all computers, which we call them the nodes in the blockchain network. Number 3, there is the verification. Nodes check that the sender has enough Bitcoin and that the transaction follows the rules, which means by following the rules means no double spending and they are valid signatures. Number 4, the transactions are grouped into a block. Verified transactions are collected together by miners. We also call miners the validators to form a block. And then the block is added to the chain. So the block is confirmed through a consensus mechanism like Bitcoin's proof of work, and then linked permanently to the previous block. That's now the miners doing the work, the proof of work. So number 6, immutable record. So once confirmed, the transaction becomes part of the blockchain forever. Everyone's copy of the ledger updates at the same time. Think of it like writing in a public diary. Anyone can add a new entry, which is a transaction. Everyone checks it to make sure it's correct. Once written, it cannot be erased. So let's now get into Bitcoin mining or the proof of work. How does Bitcoin mining work? I know most people want to understand how they can get the Bitcoins. And most people have been scammed or hacked, or let's say basically scammed through Bitcoin mining. But today we are going to demystify it and simplify Bitcoin mining. So what is Bitcoin mining, or what is mining? Mining is the process of creating new blocks and keeping the blockchain secure. So anyone who tells you any different concept from that, that's not Bitcoin mining. In Bitcoin, mining means using powerful computers to solve complex math puzzles. When miners solve these puzzles, they, number 1, validate the transaction. They check if the transactions are real and follow the rules. They add them to a block. They group the verified transactions into a block and attach them into the blockchain. Number 3, they earn a reward for doing that work. So they receive new Bitcoins called the block reward, plus the transaction fees as payment for their work. So now let us explain the proof of work concept. So proof of work is the system that that makes Bitcoin mining work and keeps the blockchain secure. Here is how it works. Number 1 is the puzzle solving. Miners compete to solve a very hard math puzzle, finding a number called a nonce that makes the block hash start with a certain numbers of zeros. Number 2, the work required. Solving this puzzle takes a lot of computer power and electricity, which is the work in proof of work. And number 3, the first to solve wins. The miner who solved it first gets the right to add their block of transactions to the blockchain. Number 4, they receive the reward. The miner is rewarded with the new Bitcoins, which we call them the block reward, plus the transaction fees. And number 5, the security. Since solving the puzzle takes so much effort, it makes the network hard to attack. To cheat, someone would need more computer power than the rest of the world combined, nearly impossible. So in short, proof of work is like a race of computers, which is miners spending real energy to prove they have done the work, and the winner gets to secure the blockchain and earn Bitcoin. So what is the role of miners? So proof of work is the system. So that's the role of miners. Okay. So class activity. Group. So we have the assignment for today. Define mempool. Example of how a Bitcoin transaction is added to the blockchain. And number 3, which of the following is not true about miners? A, they control Bitcoin. They add blocks of transaction to the blockchain. They earn block rewards. They earn transaction